let's go ahead and work on something to help not strengthen, but start to loosen the fingers about. You know, just kind of relax them and get them used to doing things. You know, my old hockey coach used to say the best way to do things is to actually learn while you're playing really hard. So in other words, there are definite skating drills, but throwing me in to a scrimmage and learning on the fly too is also very important. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is combo some of this. But for right now, what I want to do is I want to kind of follow through with that correct left hand position, the thumb behind the neck, and the right amount of pressure to get the strings to sound correctly. When you're placing your finger between the frets, especially in the top 6 to 7 frets, there's some space here, quite a bit of space here between these frets. As they get up into here, 7 frets plus, you notice the frets are very small. So there isn't a lot of room to move around in the frets. But for up here, what will make a difference is I place my finger to the inside of center just before the fret. Now, sure, I could still play from here. Now, if I move it back a little bit here, I'm getting a little bit of a buzz. I can still press my way through it, but that's not optimal. It's getting it just kind of next to the fret, okay? So what I want you to do in this practice is take your first finger on fret 3, your middle finger on fret 4, your ring finger on fret 5, and your pinky finger on fret 6. Now, my thumb is behind directly, and in a very scale from 1 to 10 in pressing, I'm pressing about a 2.5 to 3. Okay, so it's a very light touch like I told you in that last video. What I want you to do in this practice is I want you to go, now you've seen, a lot of you may have seen this already, you know, a typical, but I want you to start backwards, and there's a reason for that. First, let's start. Okay. Now go up. Now most of you will feel that the actual going down was easier than going up. Why it was a little more difficult going up is I released these fingers from the frets as I was picking upwards, or actually fingering upwards. Which means the pressure between my thumb and my pinky, or the middle finger and my pinky, was a little more difficult to achieve because those muscles are not used to working in a pressing manner. When we write with a pencil, we're already kind of programmed with this kind of pinching. You know, we're writing with a pen or a pencil. These fingers are usually tucked in to guide somehow or rolled underneath us. So they're not necessarily our strongest fingers. So because of that, what'll help strengthen that is to do this practice. And make sure you lift the fingers as they go. What I don't want you to do is lift the fingers dramatically like this. That's what you're going to have tendency to do at the beginning. I want you to try to keep it soft and mellow. Watch how I'm doing mine. I'm not coming way out. That's going to take some work. So do that now on each string in the same position. I'm going to do it just a little faster. Next string. Next string. And the final string. What's good about this practice as well, going up and down the strings, you can go back down. Is that if you notice, the hand has to rotate and move in this direction in order to achieve position. That's an excellent practice because as you learn to play, you're going to be doing that in a lot of chord making, is this kind of movement. So on this kind of practice, my main concern is that the strings are very clear and clean, positioned correctly, and that you're working on not making your fingers go like this, which you're going to at first. So don't feel really frustrated if you're going, oh, I can't, gee, what the crack. You know, take your time in doing that. what this drill is in technique is that it's getting you to have quiet hands so that your fingers aren't kind of stressed out so that it can make another move, you know, because if it's really tense and all that, to make that next move, it could be a little more difficult. So then you'll get into more advanced playing. This, I'll just play a little kind of a taste of something. It's the same position in the strings, but it's a different, what am I looking for? I can't even think. It's different. So, different pattern. Thank you. We'll work on some different patterns later. But right now I want you to work on that just slowly. Take your time. It's not about the speed. Take your time and do this, because if you try to do it fast, sometimes people tend to do it fast, they do it a little sloppy, and then they embed a sloppy habit in that, and the buzzing and the clarity won't come, and therefore you're going to be very frustrated. Yeah, so that's another kind of fun little practice that you could sit at home and do. Okay.